Welcome to Dance Games Daily, where I try my best to talk about dance games every weekday. I'm finally back home. I'm settled back in. My mic is working, so I'm going to get back into it. I just want to say thanks again to Tommy for letting me crash with you for like the last 3 months, which is a very extended period of time, but I feel like those 3 months just like flew by. And also really, really big thanks to Casey, Kyle, Crystal, and Rinker for kind of helping me to couch surf my way back to Nebraska, because that drive total is like from Boston to Nebraska is at like the fastest 23 or 24 hours. But since I went through Pittsburgh instead of northern Pennsylvania, I think it added like an hour or two. So yeah, they were gracious enough to let me crash them for a few days at a time and just work remotely, and then just drive on the weekends. So thank you guys all so much. I miss you guys. But for now, let's talk about step charts. I've been wanting to make a video about this for a while. This is Like a Lady. It was released in the Notice Me Benpai series. It's in ECFA 2021 in the 11s. And it's in the base pack. So as far as what this chart does, you know, some syncopated 16ths, brackets, some crossovers at the very end. Maybe some bursty boys on the back half here and there, but nothing too crazy. The brackets start here. I've been asked before, like, how do you know when a jump is coming up, whether it should be played as a bracket or as a jump? And the rule of thumb that I've used is that I'll look at the jump, and I'll also compare it against the note that came before it. And if this jump shares 0 notes in common with the note that came before it, then it can be played as a bracket. So in this case, this is left, or this is down and right. Down and right have nothing in common with left, so this can be played as a bracket. That's just my rule of thumb. So for here, for example, this is down and right. The note before it is right. And so since this jump and the note before it share the right note in common, then this is played as a jump. And honestly, that just makes sense, because your right foot's going to be doing like this 8th note double tap. It doesn't make sense to bracket anything because your right foot at this point is already in the correct place to hit this right arrow. This part's really straightforward, just 16th notes and not even syncopated, just straight 16th notes. Some of them started an upbeat, but that's okay. This next section that's coming up can be challenging if you're just bad at timing large spaces. There's a lot of space between the notes, so you don't want to lose track of where the tempo is. Something that I've done on this section is I will put in a ghost step on every quarter note. So here's the lines here represent quarter notes, right? I'll just put a ghost step on every missing quarter note, just so I always keep track of it. Tap, tap, digga digga dump. Tap, tap, pump. Tap, 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 tap. Yep. Watch out for this. Watch out for this jump, step jump. Bracket here, so this is the back half of the song. Oh man, this little burst thing going on here. I've talked about this in the binary video, but you really need to use this note here as the bridge between this rhythm and this rhythm. The most common mistake with seeing these kind of like, I don't know if metric modulation is the right word, just kind of like quantization shifting, right? Is that these 6 notes will kind of get slurred together. So really think about just how would you play these 3 notes on its own. Bucket up, bucket up, bucket up, bucket up. And then think about how you would play these on its own. And then just bridge them together. It's really just making sure that you get to this note at the correct time. And I think you'll find that the 24th burst here starts later than you think it does. So it's probably later than you think it does and faster than you think it is. So yeah, take your time with this rhythm. You definitely know how to play 16th notes. Just make sure that that's solid and then fill this in. There's a speed mod there, but this chart is C modable, so don't worry about it. Just play it on a C mod. Some more brackets here. And yeah, that rule kind of comes up again, right? Where you want to make sure that you're not trying to play every single jump as a bracket. Be wary of these kind of situations where, you know, your left foot is already on the down arrow. So when you play this jump, don't try to force a bracket. You know, your left foot's already in the right place. Just keep it put and step on it, the down arrow again. I think there's a long 24th burst coming up. Here we go. So here's why, this is the part of the chart where I'm gonna start talking about mirror. So here's where some crossovers come up. Oh, one crossover. There's a bunch here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think in like an 8 measure space, we had 5 different crossovers. And Etienne talked about this in a recent video that he put up, but sometimes when you consider using mirror, you should use it on charts that it biases in a certain way that is not favorable to you. And turning on mirror then turns those unfavorable biases into things that work in your favor. So for example, mine is a very personal bias. I'm worse at left arrow crossovers and cross unders than I am right arrow crossovers and cross unders. So if we look at this section again, left, two, three, 4, and then one on the right. There's 5 total crossovers in this chart. 4 of them bias left, and then 1 of them is on the right. So there's a heavy bias on crossovers being on the left arrow. And so when I play this chart, then when I play it on mirror, see our notes, mirror, both. It takes these biases and puts them, on the right arrow instead. Right arrow here as well, but as a cross under, and then right arrow again as a crossover, and then there's still one on the left. I'm worse at left arrow crossovers. It doesn't mean that I can't do them, right? So it's one of those things where crossovers, especially, like everybody's body is built differently in terms of like, I don't know. I know people's like feet spread differently, and like maybe some feet spread wider than others, or people have, stronger left legs or stronger right legs, or spines can twist in one direction better than it can twist in the other direction. It's just like stuff like that that's worth considering, and with everybody's body being different, not everybody's ability to do crossovers is going to be symmetrical between the left arrow and the right arrow, or between crossovers and cross unders. So I think it's worthwhile to study charts, and especially if you're blocked on something, or there's one particular pattern, particularly crossovers, that you're stuck on. It's worth looking at mirror to see if mirror can be used in your favor to make it better. So that's I don't know. It's it's kind of tricky too because ECFA 2021 really is a event to kind of identify weaknesses and get better at them and improve holistically as a player. So maybe the other side of the story is, if you see these patterns that you're bad at, maybe you should just not use mirror, just leave it as normal, keep it bad for yourself, and just get good at it. That's another option. But I'm on the boat that, I don't know, if I know something's undeniably easier for me mirrored, I'm just gonna embrace it and I'm just gonna do it. Particularly in tournaments. It's been really helpful to know that. There could be two morals. I'll let you take it as you see it. The two morals are use mirror to your advantage or don't and grow as a player. Not to say that using mirror makes you a worse player. It's actually, I don't know. I see using mirror as, man, you did your homework and you know this works for you. Anyways, if there's any charts that you guys play on mirror, I'd love to know. Other than that, thanks for bearing with the 2-week break from videos, and I'll catch you guys next time.